Oh, my boy, he was so full of life. He loved life. And he lived life to the fullest.
Heather Schiess is heartbroken over the loss of her 22-year-old son, Tristan.
This is the last photo of you guys as a family. And this is Tristan in the green hair?
Yeah, and the hat with the big smile.
A big smile and a bright future as he trained to become a nurse, then a firefighter.
He loved making people happy. He loved helping people. I mean, the sky was the limit for my son.
Last Thanksgiving, the West Salem family celebrated life with a cruise.
I've been traveling to Mexico for years.
7 days on the Norwegian Bliss, down and back Mexico's Pacific coast.
So it was just really nice. Everybody was excited.
Their final port on the Baja Peninsula, the city of Ensenada.
My son walked into a Mexican pharmacy and asked for oxycodone.
Tristan, Heather says, had been diagnosed with severe ADHD. And though he didn't like to talk about it, he'd been struggling with his mental health.
He was a young kid making a really bad choice that day.
Well, he's a young adult. What do you do? What do you do as a parent?
You know, he said to me, he said, Mom, he said, a couple of oxy aren't going to kill me.
The next day, the family flew home to Oregon. The following morning, Heather went to her son's bedroom and found Tristan dead.
I miss everything about him.
Salem police say they found fentanyl test strips similar to these on his nightstand, along with 19 pills.
But it seems like then he was very aware that fentanyl was out there.
Yeah. Yep, he was terrified of fentanyl.
Police could not confirm whether Tristan tested the pill or pills that killed him.
The blue pills?
The blue pills. Fentanyl.
So when you finally got the report, the final report confirming fentanyl as the cause of death?
Anger. Anger? Because, you know, I felt like my son had been murdered.
Poisoned by a pill from a place Tristan thought he could trust. Though it turns out the problem of potentially deadly counterfeit prescription pills isn't limited to one pharmacy or even one Mexican city.
And so these are very high-risk medications.
UCLA's Dr. David Goodman-Meza.
For pharmacies to be selling counterfeit products, that is very surprising to me.
In a UCLA study published in February, researchers sent shoppers to buy a total of 45 pills without a prescription from 40 tourist-oriented pharmacies across 4 cities in northern Mexico. The team then used both infrared light and testing strips to identify the substances inside and found 20 out of 45, that's nearly half, were counterfeit. For example, 82% of single tablets sold as Adderall contained meth, and 30% of pills sold as oxycodone contained fentanyl.
You talk about having so much trust in a pharmacy. So what do you tell your patients?
If you're going for very at-risk drugs like prescription opiates, Adderall, or benzodiazepines, then you're really crossing a line that you're increasing your risk.
The idea of some Mexican pharmacies selling counterfeit pills, were you aware at all of this when you went on that trip?
I can guarantee you 110% my son would not have walked into that pharmacy.
Some 4 months after Tristan's death, after the UCLA study and an LA Times investigation with similar findings, the U.S. State Department issued a travel advisory. Exercise caution when purchasing medication in Mexico, it read in part. The Drug Enforcement Administration reports counterfeit prescription pills are sold by criminals on both sides of the border. And these pills may contain deadly doses of fentanyl.
They're targeting Americans. They're targeting anybody that will buy it. I need to know that another family is not going to go through what we went through.
And one of the many questions Heather has, did the cruise line have a duty to warn them of the life-threatening dangers of some Mexican pharmacies selling counterfeit pills? So would you say the law is clear in this area?
I would not.
Maritime lawyer Douglas Williams, who used to defend cruise companies, says he's never heard of a case quite like this. With legal precedent based around families who've sued cruise lines for negligence, he says, still a gray area.
It's a case-by-case basis, and it's going to turn on how much knowledge did the cruise line have actual knowledge of this particular harm in this particular place.
Have you ever seen a case where there's been a proactive warning from a cruise line?
I guess the short answer is no.
Did you get any kind of heads up or warning from the cruise line about anything in Mexico?
No.
Anything?
No, just in writing. Put it in writing.
In an email to Heather this May, Norwegian Cruise Line's senior manager of guest experience said the company planned to make changes. Quote, "Our team will update our current safety messaging to our guests to ensure they are aware of the issues with purchasing non-regulated medication from pharmacies in foreign ports." 3 emails from KGW to Norwegian, along with a voicemail asking for clarification on exactly what form those warnings would take and when they'd be implemented, were not returned.
I miss his hugs. I miss his positive, uplifting attitude.
A lot of memories.
Yeah, a lot of memories. He did a lot in his lifetime.
And for a young man whose motto was find happiness and bring it to others,
Nothing feels complete without him, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
a lifetime,
it's just
his mother says,
hard.
was not nearly long enough.
Yes, he made the choice that day to walk in. Yes. And he made a stupid choice. But he did not deserve to die.
A group of blackbirds gracing her right arm.
This is our family. And this is my son, Tristan, flying away.
Tristan's final journal entry on her left.
For unconditional love and for always telling me the truth.
Reminders to Heather, 7 months on,
This is my son's urn.
of her son's enduring spirit and the raw truth of a life cut short. An immeasurable loss she now hopes will save others.
Some days I tell myself that my son, some days I tell myself that my son had to die to help save other people's lives. And that helps get me through.